everybody, this is Tracy here for another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here to recap Greenleaf Season 2, Episode 14, which was titled A Father's Will. So Bishop Jeffries has returned to the scene. If you guys remember, that is Aaron's father, and Aaron is the guy who turned Kevin out. So we're going to get to the nitty gritty, the bottom of that whole situation. So the show opens up with Bishop Jeffries, Bishop Greenleaf, and Lady May, and they're in the at the Greenleaf estate having a conversation. And y'all know that Lady May got a secret, so she is really concerned with why Bishop Jeffries has decided to return to town. So after a bit of prodding, Bishop Jeffries tells them that he discovered that Aaron was gay. So evidently he had went to see Aaron to tell him about a job offer that someone wanted to make to him. And when he knocked on the door, Aaron came to the door, and Kevin was at the apartment or hotel room, wherever Aaron was staying at, because I thought Aaron lived somewhere in Tennessee, but they were in Montgomery, Alabama, where all this went down. So then Lady May, she cuts him off and let him know that they already knew that Kevin was gay. So Bishop Greenleaf, asks if Bishop Jeffries is talking to Aaron and, what's going on. And Bishop Jeffries was like, no, he's not talking to Aaron, and that, Aaron won't listen to reason. And Aaron keeps saying that he was born gay, but Bishop Jeffries doesn't believe that anybody is born gay. So Bishop Jeffries asks Bishop Greenleaf, if he will talk to Aaron about the situation and let him know, how sinful this is, and he can't make it into heaven sleeping with other men. So Bishop Greenleaf, is with Aaron at Calvary, and they're walking into his office, and so Aaron apologizes for Bishop Greenleaf and Lady May finding out about Kevin the way that they did. And so Bishop Greenleaf is like, that's cool, that's fine. Kevin's a grown man. He's responsible for his own actions, and he needs to be dealing with the fact that he ran out and left Charity and Nathan all alone. But let's get to the bigger picture here. Your daddy want to have a sit down and a conversation so we can talk about this. And so Aaron tells Bishop Greenleaf that, he can't change, who he is, and, he can't simply just wake up and not be gay. So Bishop Greenleaf runs the whole, God knows our heart line by Aaron. And so I don't know what's going on with Bishop Greenleaf, because one minute he act like he against the gay people, then the other minute it's like he don't know what to do about the situation. So he might not have been the right person for Bishop Jeffries to go to looking for help if he wanted to ungay his son. So Bishop Greenleaf, does the best that he can, to mediate between Aaron and his dad, and trying to encourage, be encouraging as he's listening to this conversation going on. And so then Bishop Greenleaf tells him, listen and try to find the will of the Father in all this that's going on. So neither Aaron or his dad, seem to be very willing, and they're both set in their own convictions. And then Aaron and Bishop Jeffries, they fail to come to common ground, and Bishop Jeffries is like questioning Bishop Greenleaf's loyalty. Like, I thought, you were going to come in here and tell this boy, that he was wrong and that he was going to hell. But Bishop Greenleaf don't know how to deal with this situation. They didn't know how to deal with Kevin. They didn't know how to deal with Carlton, or, they mad at Basie because of the stance that he's taking. So I don't know what Bishop Jeffries was expecting. And so he tells him, I suggest you get on the side of God in all of this, and at least because that's where I'm camped. So I don't know, look like some lines are being drawn in the sand here. And of course, Aaron is telling Bishop Greenleaf, that he wants his dad to accept him for who he is. And you see Bishop Jeffries over there scoffing at the idea. And so he was like, who you are is unacceptable. So at this point, they just begin the arguing. The conversation isn't going anywhere, and then Aaron walks out. So Bishop Jeffries tells Bishop Greenleaf that he thought, he would be on his side more than he was. And Bishop Greenleaf lets him know that you're behaving as the boy always thought you would. He thought that this was how you were going to react. And then Bishop Greenleaf also added that, no wonder he kept it a secret, who would choose this type of lifestyle. So meanwhile, Bishop Greenleaf, recaps what happened during the little meeting with Aaron and his daddy with Lady May. So then he also tells Lady May that, he's not in agreement with the way that Bishop Jeffries is handling the situation, and that he really wants him to reconcile his relationship with Aaron. So Lady May asks him if he condones Aaron's homosexuality, and the bishop says that I'm not sure, it's mine to condone or not to condone. So then Lady May reminds him that, Aaron's involvement in Kevin's life contributed to Kevin running off from Charity and Nathan. So Bishop Greenleaf, strongly believes that Aaron is not going to change his sexuality. Of course he's not. And Lady May, she rolls her eyes at him. She feels that Aaron doesn't deserve the treatment he's getting from her husband. And I guess she's kind of like on the side of Bishop Jeffries. Then Lady May made some comment about, he's not your child, he's not Faith. And I don't know where that came from. It just seems so random, but she realized she was out of order, and then she apologized to her husband for saying it. So then Aaron and Bishop Jeffries, they have another session with Bishop Greenleaf. And, the dad is pleading with Aaron, to accept how he feels about his homosexuality. But things get tense when Bishop Jeffries asks him to change. And then Aaron says that, he tried and prayed for years to change, but he couldn't. And Aaron then gets up to leave, and Bishop Jeffries sarcastically says, yeah, blame me. I'm the bad guy here. But Aaron takes this to heart, revealing that his mom knew about his homosexuality, and then his dad. And then he also said that, his dad slept with multiple women, and that, they're both sins. Like, you're condemning me for sinning and sleeping with men, but you were committing adultery, cheating on my mom. So how is that any different just because you were sleeping with women? And then he also told his dad that the mom, because I think when he said that his mom knew about it, Bishop Jeffries was like, don't be lying on your mom. She never would have been okay with this. And then Aaron lets him know that he told his mom, how he was feeling when he was 13 years old, and that she knew about it. And not only did she know about his homosexuality, but she knew about all the different women that he was sleeping with. So then Bishop Jeffrey was looking at Bishop Greenleaf, was like, I don't know what he's talking about. He's lying. Like, this is just done got out of hand. Like, not only is he gay, he's a liar. He's trying to bring me down. And Bishop Greenleaf was looking at him like, what? Like, what is going on? He has no clue how he done got caught up in this confusion and conflict and craziness that's going on in his office right now. Then later on that night when he's home with Lady May, he asked her, did she know about Aaron being gay? And so Lady May, loudly proclaims that she would have never put him down the hall from Kevin if she knew. Because I guess Lady May knew the temptation would just be too strong. So then Bishop Greenleaf asked if she knew about Bishop Jeffries, being a womanizer. And the question kind of like hit Lady May. So now we know for sure that Lady May was getting busy with Bishop Jeffries just by her reaction alone. And she says that, she never knew anything about it, and that his wife, never said anything to her, about him cheating. And so, he tells Lady May, what Aaron said and how, Bishop Jeffries reacted. And then she insists, that the wife never told her anything like that, not ever. And she was like, and she told me everything. And if you ask me, the boy is making up the stories to deflect the attention away from him. But when I tell y'all, Lady May didn't sleep well that night. God bet she tossed and turned and probably was talking in her sleep because she can't wait to get her claws into Bishop Jeffries. So now let's move over to Charity. So Charity is spending time with little baby Nathan, when she gets a phone call from Jabari, and Jabari lets her know that he wants her to go on tour with Tamala Man. Tamala Man looking for some backup singers and wants Charity to be one of them. So Charity runs down to breakfast to tell Lady May and Grace about the offer, to sing backup for Tamala Man, and she asks Lady May if she can have Marisol join her on the tour. Like, are you just gonna take the maid from the house? Like, isn't Marisol like the head housekeeper at the Greenleaf estate? So Charity just won't take the help and then leave Lady May there to clean up the house by herself. Like, no, Charity, it doesn't work that way. So, Lady May was like, well, now, she has a job and a life of her own and a daughter. Like, no, she can't go running around the country with you and that baby. So when Lady May finds out that Charity would be on tour for 10 weeks, she really starts to dislike the idea, letting Charity know, how Bishop Greenleaf, when he used to travel a lot, going from church to church, that it was really hard on her, trying to raise the kids by herself. So then, Miss Progressive Grace jumps into the conversation and she's like, oh, this is a great opportunity. We really need to support Charity. And then eventually, Lady May says that she can ask Marisol, but she still ain't excited about it. So Charity, she gets all happy and runs off. After Charity runs off, Lady May says that, she's not sure she can get on this bandwagon with them. And then Grace tell her, that other little cliche that Christians use, just pray about it, God will give you the answer. So later on, Lady May, has to deliver the news to Charity about Aaron and Kevin. So Charity wasn't happy about it, and when Aaron had the audacity to stop by Charity's office, she let him know. So she immediately goes off on him, and he's apologizing to Charity, saying that he's been involved in a thing that made many people unhappy, including Kevin. And so he was, I think Kevin, and then Charity was like, Kevin should be unhappy. Like, and I'm only talking about one thing, and that's his son. He left his son without a father. Now, what y'all over there doing behind closed doors is your business. I don't want to hear about it. But Kevin need to come back home and be responsible for his child, because he's dead wrong for this. And so she tells Aaron, if this whole thing was turned around and I woke up one day and decided I was a lesbian, I would still be a mother and I would still be here for my child. And she has a point about that. So Aaron, he tries to tell Charity, that Kevin isn't comfortable with his homosexuality or his sexuality, and that, he really doesn't want to be this way. But Charity was like, say that drama for your mama. I don't care about Kevin. I don't care about Kevin's feelings. All I care about is my son having a father. So unless you're telling me that Kevin about to come back home and be a father to his child, I'm going to need you to get on out my office, and I don't want to hear. Now, of course, I'm paraphrasing. Charity didn't say all that, but if it had been me, that's what I would have been saying. So then we move over to Jacob and Karissa. These two are so funny because Karissa, she is trying to jet set through this path to become Lady May of Triumph. So Karissa is extremely happy, about Jacob starting his job as the senior pastor over at Triumph. And so he's going to have a staff meeting, and Karissa wants to be there because she said they need to set the tone of what's going to take place. So Jacob and Karissa, they're being shown around Triumph by Brittany. And so Brittany asked if Jacob would keep Tasha on as the minister of music, and Jacob says, that's fine with him. And then, he's like, basically, whatever Sister Skanks wants to do, we're here to help her and, deal with her situation and make her feel, useful around the church. So Brittany was happy to hear that, but Karissa was like, if she had full control, Tasha would be gone. Tasha would never be allowed to step foot back into that church, but she got to tread lightly because, she know Jacob is feeling himself right now. He already put her in the place and tell her that she ain't got a Christian heart. So basically, when he gets into the staff meeting, Jacob, lets the people know that, they know what they're doing. They're doing a good job. And if something isn't broke, he isn't trying to fix it. And then they're just going to play it by ear and tweak things, as they go along. So then Jacob, on the flip side, lets them know that he met some really great people when he was, some homeless people when he was running his real church of Memphis, and that he was thinking about bringing some of those people on board. And so you could tell that the Brittany chick, she wasn't too happy about that, and but she wasn't going to say it in the meeting. She wanted to wait and get Jacob to the side to let him know what she was thinking. So back at Triumph, Jacob is in the sanctuary's pulpit in all of the church, that he's running. So Brittany comes in and tells him that, she doesn't think it's a good idea at this time for him to be buying buses for the homeless people to use, especially, with all the controversy that's hanging over the church, about the finances. And then Jacob, tells Brittany that, he thanked her for coming in and being open and honest, and that he'll take into consideration what she said. So then Karissa runs into Tasha in her office, being consoled by the women of the church. And so they offer to stay with her, but Tasha declines the invitations. When the women leave, Tasha tells Karissa, that she's really happy to be at work, and, how happy she is that they allowed her, to stay on. And then she's like, it's like all I do is walk around the condo and then circle back around to Basie's shoes, so she's just happy to have something to do. So then Tasha tells Karissa that Basie took only one pair of his shoes. So I guess Basie got an affection for shoes. So the fact that he only took one pair, I guess, I don't know if she think that means that he's coming back, or that he must really be depressed that he left his shoe collection. I don't know what that little statement was supposed to mean. But then Karissa invites Tasha over for dinner, and Tasha says she'd be happy to come. And then one of Tasha's friends returns and asks for the first lady, and then both Karissa and Tasha stood around and said yes. So I think Tasha needs to learn her place. She's no longer the first lady of Triumph. Tasha arrives at Karissa and Jacob's house for dinner. They get to talking about the Brittany chick. Tasha tells Jacob, and Karissa that Brittany wants things run as she sees fit. And Karissa agrees, with Brittany about the issues about the buses and everything, and that they can't be at the spending money when, the finances are in a mess. So then Tasha offers, to talk to Brittany, but Karissa insists that she and Jacob can handle it because she needs Tasha to get on back and realize she ain't running things anymore. And then Tasha, suddenly gets quiet and starts to cry at dinner, and then her mind went to, where is Basie? And she don't know how she gonna survive and all this stuff. And they'll start thinking that Tasha might be a con artist just like her husband. So while they sitting at the table, Karissa seeing it for what it is, and then Jacob messed around and grabbed Tasha's hand like to console her. And Karissa was like, no the hell, you not gonna sit at my dinner table running a scam on my husband, and he gonna sit there and hold your hand. So Tasha, you gonna have a real enemy on your hands. So Karissa, later on that night, Karissa, is home, and she's asking Jacob to move into Tasha's office. And then Jacob reminds her that she is the first lady of Triumph, and to take it, one step at a time. And then to get her to shut up, he went to hugging and kissing and slobbing on her. So Karissa, I don't know, girl, you better tread lightly. Just tread lightly, because you don't want to alienate your husband. And speaking of Jacob and Karissa, they obviously are still not paying attention to their daughter Zora, because Zora is getting deeper and deeper and deeper into this domestic violence situation that she's in. So Zora is talking to Sophia and what's that boy named Roberto over there at the practice for the cotillion. And so she points out, that the boy that she had went to, that they had tried to set her up with at the bowling alley, he was there with some other girl, and that the girl had begged him to be her escort. So basically letting Zora know, you missed out on a good dude. So Zora's mood changes when Sophia asks her about Isaiah, and she isn't sure that, Isaiah is going to come, if he's just running late or what's going on. But then all of a sudden, Isaiah comes in wearing shades, got on some casual clothes, looking like he might be high. So Zora, asks him to remove his sunglasses, but he says that he needs to keep them on because, he's a celebrity and he don't want people, coming over trying to get his autograph and pictures and distract from what's going on. But then Zora, puts her foot down and say, you really need to take them shades off. So everyone at the cotillion practice, they waltz in, and Isaiah decides to break line and perform a spin dance move, grabbing and crouching. Yeah, the boy was obviously high, so the instructor, gently whacks Isaiah with a stick and tells him to get back in line. So Zora, she's looking embarrassed, like, she can't believe that he came in there high, acting the fool, just being an idiot is basically what he was doing. So then Isaiah, he gets upset and decides that he's going to leave and walk out. So then Sophia and Roberta, they walk over to Zora, wondering what she and Isaiah are doing. Like, what is going on with y'all? And Sophia was like, it looked like you two were practicing for So You Think You Can Dance. So, oh my God, what is wrong with these kids? And why Zora will not leave this stupid boy alone? Zora, she asks them if they're jealous, and Sophia's is the boy Roberto? That's what I keep calling him. So Roberta is like, those are discontinued Michael Jackson spin, not so much. So then they point out, the other girls taking selfies with Isaiah and saying, he should be over there with Zora. He just being totally disrespectful of this. Zora's like, he's just superstar adjacent. Is that what she said? I think that's what she said. So, when Isaiah comes back over, Sophia lets him know that, he needs to focus on the cotillion and not being a playboy. Y'all gonna get Zora killed out here tonight. So Isaiah, he turns to Zora to tell her that Sophia, throwing shade at him. And Zora tells him that she wants him to calm down and that, she doesn't appreciate, the girls hanging all on him and taking selfies and all this stuff at her cotillion practice. So this get him all upset, and then he storms off. And Sophia, she tries to keep Zora from running after him, but of course Zora, she, the mind games that she in too deep. She is giving it her all. So she runs after him, and then they get outside, and I think he pushed Zora. And I'm just like, okay, so now you just go push her in public where somebody could have seen you. It is crazy. And I think she hit like a concrete column that was behind her. So Zora, is shocked that he did that. And so she pushed Isaiah away, and then he grabbed her arm and was trying to apologize. So y'all know how the whole routine go, So now he's talking about, he felt like he was being judged, and that, he's going to lose her and lose everything. And he's sorry and all this stuff. And then she ate it up like it was some ice cream and chocolate cake and fell for it. So that, she wants to be his savior and his protector, and one person that's going to love and care for him no matter what. And then we had a couple of little short scenes with Grace where basically, her and Darius are at his condo, and he had made dinner for them. And then, Grace was, kind of feeling herself. And then she brought up the question about, did he want to have kids? And he was like, no, he don't want to have no kids. So that kind of like, I don't know if it upset Grace, but I'm sitting there thinking to myself, Sophia about to graduate from high school and go to college. Why are you worried about children? Is that really in your plan for the future, that you want to marry Darius and have some children? But then later on in the show, they end up having sex. So I guess Grace ain't getting back in that pulpit. And it don't matter, because it don't look like Bishop Greenleaf getting back in the pulpit either. Ain't no preaching going on over there at Calvary. If we want to hear the word, we got to go over there to Triumph and listen to Jacob, because I do believe he's going to be up in the pulpit giving a sermon on Sunday. Then we had what I call the Last Supper. So it was Charity, Lady Mae, Bishop Greenleaf, and I think Bishop Jeffries was there. And so she was telling them about her change plans for the tour, and Lady Mae, is still not down with the idea. So, she scoffs at the notion of Tamala's assistant. I think it was one of Tamala Mann's assistants was going to be watching Nathan while she was on tour, so Marisol didn't have to go. So when she asks who would lead worship while they're gone, Charity get flip mouth and say Carlton is available, that they can hire him back. So Lady Mae, she jumps up to say that Kevin has her confused, but she need to pull it back and get it together. So Bishop Jeffries, he apologizes to Charity for Aaron, saying that he's lost sight of God's law. And then Lady Mae uses the moment, to finally get up in Bishop Jeffries' behind, because, she's still fuming about the fact that he was out there screwing a whole bunch of women, not just her. And so then she was like, which one of God's laws are you referring to specifically? So then he told her Romans 1 of the Bible. And then Lady Mae says, but the commandments are the law, and thou shalt not commit adultery. So Bishop Greenleaf sitting there, he looking at Lady Mae like, well, you sure seem to be awfully emotionally invested in the fact that this man cheated on his wife, and like you're more upset about the adultery that he committed against another woman who is now deceased than you are with the fact that the reason he's even here is because his son done turned Kevin out, and now Kevin done up and run off and left Nathan and Charity in a bind. So Lady Mae proclaims that, while she is against Aaron and Kevin's homosexuality, she isn't going to let go of Bishop Jeffries' womanizing. So Bishop Jeffries says that he is confused about what Lady Mae is going on and on about. And Lady Mae says, you and I both are confused. So then Charity jumps back in and says, it's my life. And I'm like, Charity, this conversation ain't even about you no more. So you might as well get on up and go on about your business. So then Lady Mae, tells her that I know it's your life, but I don't want to see you throw away your dignity running after Jabari, trying to get love from him while your son is sleeping in a pillow. Oh my God, Lady Mae have the best lines. So Charity, she yells back, I would never do that. I'm thinking like, Charity, we're going to have to work on your comeback game. So then Lady Mae says, a woman has a unique God-given ability to express and experience love, but the downside to that is it puts you in a very vulnerable position. I just don't want to see you lose your self-respect over a man, because no man is worth that. And I'm like, come on back, Lady Mae. Come on back. You in too deep, because this isn't about you and Lionel over here. This is about Charity trying to move on with her life and run after this fine-ass Jabari man who's going to end up breaking her heart. But she going to have to experience that, Lady Mae. So you got to keep it focused here before you be done told more than you plan on telling. So Bishop Greenleaf raises his eyebrows at Lady Mae, like, okay, where is you coming from with all of this? So Lady Mae, walks in on Bishop Jeffries later on that night, and, he's in the study. So she decides to confront him about the other women. And Bishop Jeffrey tells Lady Mae that, Aaron is lying, but she's like, no, he ain't lying. You were sleeping with other women, and I need to know the truth. So Bishop Jeffrey says, well, there was no one that was more important than you were to me. And then Lady Mae is like, Negro, please, were you or were you not sleeping with other women? Because I need to know if I jeopardize my marriage and my self-esteem and my respect for myself over a bunch of lies. And so, she's going off on him and talking about, how many other stupid women did you tell those pretty little lies to? He told her a few. There was a few other dummies just like you. So then Bishop Jeffries, he's like, your brother was a rapist, and Bishop Greenleaf ain't no saint either. And I'm like, oh, now how you gonna bring Uncle Mac into this and Bishop Greenleaf into your filthiness? And then he tells her that her sissy ex-son-in-law turned Aaron out. And then Lady Mae, she slaps him. Like, you be talking about Kevin like that, because that was your dirty son that came up in here and did that. So, she tells him to leave and don't ever come back to her house again. Lady Mae was just being very dramatic in that scene. I was thinking like, where is Bishop Greenleaf? Like, he can't hear this conversation going on under his roof. Like, Lady Mae was so out of order at this point. So the next day, when Bishop Jeffries is preparing to leave, Bishop Greenleaf is walking them out. And so, he tells him that, he still needs to try to work things out with Aaron, and that he needs to have his son close to him despite their differences. And Bishop Jeffries just totally overlooked that part of the conversation and tells, because he's totally distracted after Lady Mae done cussed him out the night before. And so he tells Bishop Greenleaf, tell Lady Mae that he's sorry. So now Bishop Greenleaf is like, what? Sorry for what? Like, what are you talking about? And then Bishop Jeffrey says, tell her that, I'm sorry for leaving without saying goodbye. So now, Bishop Greenleaf, if you don't know that this man been screwing your wife, you have got to be blind, dumb, crippled, crazy, or you got some secrets of your own that you tried to cover up, because it was written all over the walls, the sidewalk, the windows, and everywhere else. So we'll see where this is going. And what do you guys think about this season? Because, I voiced in my earlier recaps that I was very disappointed with how they dealt with the whole Uncle Mike and Grace situation, how they just swept that under the rug and just seemed to be done moved on. And then they just come up with these random storylines out of the blue to cover, and it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of cohesiveness in the storytelling of the show. And then we have like 2 episodes left, so I don't know how they're gonna wrap all this up and bring it back together, but we'll see where they're going with it. So leave your comments below, rate the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and you can also share the video on your social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, and a whole bunch of others. And you can do all of that below. You have the subscribe button, the like button, and you also have the share buttons below. I appreciate your support, and until the next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.